Okay, so here we're showing a couple new features inside Row64 data frame. So I'm going to make the text big just so it's easy to see. So we're going to load a file, and we have a bunch of example files that are easy to load. And if we look, it automatically converts everything we're typing in these data frame formulas and compiles them in real time into Python formulas. So then we could do like a histogram, for example. And we go look at the Python that was generated. I actually have to tell which column I want to do. So let's do column D1. And then we can see it's accepted that and converted it into Python. And if we wanted to, here, I can run that now. And then we can take a look. Okay, here's the data that it made. Here's the histogram that it made. We can go and modify that some more. If I want to modify the histogram, say get column E, and run that, and we can go look and we can see we've got a different histogram off of this data. We can go do transformations like a transpose. Here I'll run that, and you can see it's flipped the axis on here, and this is very cool. We can see the inputs and outputs. So the data frame is a kind of transforming structure for data. It can do billions of things, and this is very powerful to easily see the inputs and outputs. Now we have a ton of presets on here, and I'm going to start off with a simple one. I'm going to load dollar, which is kind of a neat one here. Okay, and so you can see it's basically loading an example and adding a column. So we're going to run this. If we take a look at what it did, it took this number here. We did a calculation off of C1, and we multiplied it by some markup factor. And then it converted it into dollar notation so that we could put it on a price tag. So this is an Excel function, and then it's gone, and there's all kinds of little details that you have to do to correct for errors and all these things. As a Python user, you'd have to know you don't have to use them here. And so we could come and just change a factor. It's just really easy to come in and manipulate all these things and just change the whole sheet and change your calculation. And this is how Python users work, and we're now bringing that to Excel users. And you can see the before and after here as well. Okay, so let's look at another example, a kind of a simple search and replace example. If we run that, we've got a bunch of cars here, and if we look at the input, we can see it's searching for compact cars, and it's sticking this replacement text in here. If we take a more complex example, let's look at categorical. So categorical is often used in machine learning, and you can see it's converted that column. If it finds manual 5-speed here, it comes in and adds that as a new column, which is sort of an analysis column. Something incredible about this tool, it's a lot better than Excel for handling arrays and lists of data. So if we run this, you can see it's generating all this code here, and we run the script. It's created 2 columns of data. And you can see how you can nicely just put these lists. These are the titles here, manual TTT, say we wanted to change that. It's just super simple to come in and make these huge data set transformations. And this is why Python is growing in popularity. It's very easy to transform data and manipulate it. Let's look at another example here. If we come in and we do, say, a logical statement, which would be an if statement. So this is something Excel users are very familiar with, but it's a little bit harder to do in Python. The syntax is a little bit cranky, and you can see especially pandas. So this, we're not only converting into Python. This thing is compiling into pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, all these little things that have their own cranky little details. It's taking care of them for you. So this is accelerating the Python user as well. It's a really fast, easy, fun way to generate code, very visual. And so here you can see this logic here generated from this data frame formula is telling you if this is greater than this, then 0 else, and it just does it very quickly. Now where this thing really starts to shine is when there's like these nice things in Excel that don't translate well into Python. So if we go here and look at this value example here, very simple in our syntax, but very difficult to code in Python. You have to do a whole bunch of Rego expressions. So I just think this really shows the power of where we're going with data frames.